Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Market News and Views by Money Stocks. Today is Wednesday, May 29, 2013. Thank you all for tuning in. Let's jump right into the charts here. We'll start off with the S&P 500 E-mini futures. Futures are trading down by 8 points this morning. Decent little dip. Yesterday the futures were up by over, I should say the S&P was up by over 10 points. So pretty much erasing everything it gained yesterday. But one thing you want to note, that futures are off the lows. So they have popped off the lows a little bit here. So we'll see how that all shakes out and plays out. But right now futures have come off the lows a little bit, although they are still down about 8 points. The catalyst for the decline today seems to be Europe once again. Europe coming into the picture. Europe's been kind of quiet lately, but you're going to see that all the European major stock indexes are lower today. The German DAX down about 1 3/4 points. French CAC 40 down about 1.5 points. And then you have Italy and Spain both down about 0.75%. The FTSE 100, which is England, they can print their own money. They're separate from the Eurozone. They are down, the FTSE 100 is down 1.6%. So decent declines across the board. It seems that in Germany, unemployment rose by 21,000. That's 4 times the increase. Economists were expecting a rise of 5,000 in unemployment, and it wound up rising by 21,000. So that is not good news. Germany is really the only solvent country in the Eurozone, or in the European Union, I should say. And to see their unemployment jump that dramatically for a small country it's pretty astonishing. So either way you look at it, that is part of the catalyst today, coming out of Europe. You're seeing German unemployment rise by 21,000 in the month of April. So if that or in the month of May, excuse me. So if that is rising that dramatically, you can imagine the rest of the European Union how bad it's doing. So it just gives us a little glimpse inside of what's really taking place. And as I just said a few minutes ago, the German DAX is down about 1 3/4 points. So that's a pretty sizable decline in that market. And we'll see if it does spill over here. It looks like it spilled over a little bit, but the futures are just down 8 points at the moment. You can see they have been bouncing back a little bit there. So we'll have to watch this closely and see how it all plays out going forward. But right now, futures are down about 8 points, and we'll see if they head lower again. There's some other things that we should talk about rather quickly. If you took a look at the Asian markets last night, the Hang Seng, I believe, was the big loser last night. The Hang Seng traded down 1.61%. So any Hong Kong stocks should be watched closely. They could be under pressure. The Nikkei 225 was basically flat on the session. The Hang Seng, the Shanghai was also flat, and the Indian Sensex was flat. The Singapore market, I just want to make sure these numbers are correct. The Singapore market was down 1.13%. I know people don't talk a lot about Singapore, but I believe it's one of the most important parts of Asia, simply because it's a financial banking hub of Asia, and that should be watched closely. But Singapore, the Straits Times Index, was down 1.13%, and that could always be problematic going forward. So I think traders should be a little bit aware of that. Markets today seem to be a little bit on the weaker side. We'll see if they catch a bid after the opening bell rings, or do they sell off a little bit and go down lower. There's a lot of forecasts out. I believe the IMF has a forecast. Also, some other think tanks out there have some forecasts. I'm not going to make much out of that stuff. We'll just see how the market plays out. Looking at the U.S. dollar index today, you're going to see that the dollar is trading lower by about 47 cents. This is a pretty sharp decline on the dollar today. So dollar up and down and all around, but today it is selling off a little bit, and we'll see if that does affect the markets. Lately, the dollar and the market are going up together, and they're falling together. So, and that's all because of the Japanese market and the dollar versus the yen. So again, that's a relationship, another relationship you'll have to watch closely. Today, what you'll see is that the yen is gaining against the dollar, and you'll see how the dollar has been falling against the yen. So the yen is gaining stronger today, and that's ultimately the reason, another big reason for today's decline in the ES futures. So we'll have to watch that closely as usual. And again, all these intertwining relationships between all these currencies. It seems that currencies dominate the world, and that's what we have to watch going forward. All right, let's take a look at a few other things out here today. First off, you want to note, I think Smithfield Foods, ticker symbol SFD, is going to be bought out by a Chinese firm. So this one is catching a pretty good bid today. It closed at $26. Today it's trading at $32.57. Smithfield Foods is being bought out by a Chinese firm. So I think that deal is very, very close to being finalized. So you do not want to try to short Smithfield Foods or anything like that until you hear that deal is not in play. But right now it looks like it's very close to being finalized. Smithfield Foods being taken over by a Chinese firm. Then you have funeral operator Stewart Enterprises, STEI is a symbol. This is being bought out by a private equity group, I believe. So again, these two big moves today, you don't want to get in front of. So just keep that on your radar. We have a couple of gap stocks today, a couple of movers out here. So we'll post those up at 9 o'clock in the morning. So just to give everybody a heads up, we do have a few gap plays out here that will be posted at 9 in the morning. But you don't want Stewart and you don't want Smithfield Foods today. Leave those alone going forward. You do not want them. They are takeovers. All right, let's take a look at gold, and we'll look at silver. It looks like spot gold is up about $10 today to around $13.90 an ounce. Gold has been up, down, and all around each and every day, and it's just getting fluctuated with the currency wars that are taking place at the moment. If you take a look at the GLD this morning, you'll see the GLD trading around 134.36. We're not going to make too much out of it. We'll see how that plays out. Again, the action in the dollar does affect the movement in the GLD. Let's take a look at light sweet crude this morning. Light sweet crude is down about 65 cents to $94.36 a barrel. Let's take a look at the USO. The USO is trading at 33.50. This is a good proxy for light sweet crude. The USO yesterday closed at 33.79. We can't make too much out of it. It's really in between major resistance and support, so we're not going to really go into it too deeply here. Weird to see, a little strange, I should say, to see oil dip a little bit with the dollar, though. The dollar is lower. Usually oil is higher, but that is not the case this morning. So watch for chart pattern. That will tell you everything you need to know. Again, I have some gap plays that will be posted up there around 9 o'clock in the morning. Keep an eye on the European banks today. Deutsche Bank is going to be very, very important. When you have the market in Europe falling the way it is, Deutsche Bank is likely to come under some pressure. Other European banks that could be in play today are Banco Santander, also UBS, and then you have Credit Suisse. These are just a few that could be in motion today, could be volatile. I look for early weakness at the start of the trading session. Okay, with that said, everybody, I want to leave it there. I want to wish you all a great trading day, and we'll see you on the charts a little bit later. Take care now.